Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to Scotty's Gourmet Meat Shop. So, as you can see, tonight we have a fish. So, probably gonna do something with some fish. Tonight we are going to fillet up 50 pounds of salmon. I'm not gonna bore you through the whole ordeal, but I am gonna show you the first one. So, first thing you need, good sharp knife. I use a Dexter. This is a 12-inch Dexter. It's got lots of good flex, super sharp, holds an edge really well. These are wonderful. These white handled Dexters are like 25 bucks. Your steel or diamond, whichever you got, a way to sharpen that knife. One thing about these salmon is that it don't take no time to dull up a knife. About every third or fourth fish you gotta hit it. So, gloves, cutting board, fish, knife. Literally, all you need. So what I do, I'm gonna tell you what I do first, and then I'll bring the camera in a little closer, try to get a better shot, show you what I do. Actually, I'm gonna do one, then I'll bring the camera in a little better. Anyway, these fish are all gutted and head off. So you've got the collar on both sides, and then you're open in the belly. So I always open the belly, take my knife, my very sharp knife, and I just poke right at the top of the backbone in here, and I keep a downward angle on the knife until I come out at about this dorsal fin here, right there, and then I just cut straight across. That's it. Then I flip the fish around, then I flip the fish around, and I run my knife right along that backbone as I'm cutting, and I kind of keep a downward angle on the knife to keep it into that backbone, and that's it. Flop that bad boy over. You're done with it for a second. And then I come about 3 or 4 inches back from the collar, and I stick my knife underneath that backbone and right out the belly bones on the other side. As you see, I kind of do a little funking around with it. Anyway, and then once I get a little bit cut, I'll stick my fingers in there to have something to hold on to. Be careful because it's really sharp and you will poke yourself. And as I'm doing this, I'm keeping a bit of an upward angle on the knife to keep it against that backbone. And we cut that tail fin off, and then we just come right back the other direction. And that piece, the backbone, is garbage. Then flip it over and we cut the collar off. Come right under this fin here and just cut just like that. Super simple. Then we flip her back over and we're going to fillet out the belly bones. And basically you just start up at the top, you get underneath that first belly bone. Once you get under it, if you kind of keep your knife tipped up a little bit, you'll cut into the belly bones instead of cutting into the meat, and it'll leave you a nice little fillet. You don't have to cut these belly bones off, but I just think it makes a better product, and appearance-wise and product-wise, all the way around. And I'm all about appearance, so I want my fish to look nice when it's done. Anyway, get that all off of there in one swipe, but usually it takes me a fish or two to get back into the hang of things when I haven't filleted any in a while, and it's been a month or two since I've done any fish. So now you have this piece right here. This is the backbone of the fish. You want to fillet that out also. So I just get underneath of it. Once you get a cut, then you can just kind of keep slicing until you get right down to that skin. Cut her right out. have a pretty nice looking fillet, whether you're gonna smoke it or just want it for presentation on a barbecue or whatever. Anyway, then the other piece, do the same thing again. Cut that collar off of there. Now I used to cut the collar off when it was in the round still, and it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder on your equipment, it's harder on your knife, whole 9 yards. So I finally started doing it this way and made my life a lot easier. Anyway, and this is just exactly backwards. Now, no, there's no backbone on this piece. There is a little bit, if you get a little bit of this dorsal fin in here, you can just trim it out. Anyway, and I just, once again, come up underneath those belly bones. Kind of keep your knife tipped up a little bit. If you're not comfortable cutting this direction, don't do it. Because you can very easily cut through this and cut right into yourself. So if you're not competent or comfortable with the knife, then by all means turn the fish around and go the other direction. I just go this way because it's the way I'm used to and it's easiest for me. Anyway, there's another pretty nice fillet. I'm not a professional, but I think it looks all right. That is how I fillet my fish. Now these will go into the brine tomorrow after work. They'll stay in the brine for a period of time, and once that's done, I'll pull them straight out of the brine, throw them in the smoker. So anyway, I'll show you that tomorrow. Peace out, guys. All right, guys. So I wanted to see if I can give you a little bit closer shot of that whole process again. So anyway, this fish here, the belly is not cut all the way up through the throat. So that's the first thing you want to do. Just stick your knife in there. Anyway, so where I showed you here, we open it up, and then this is your backbone right in here. That's your backbone. So you want to just come right on the top of that, right? And then come either right on the top of that fin or on the bottom of it. Try not to come through it. See if I can show you that a little better. See how that is? See where the knife is? Anyway, and then once again, we just pull straight across, working the knife back and forth a little bit. Then we flip our fish around. And once again, we just cut at a little bit of a downward angle, stand right on that backbone. Flop her over, you're done with that part. Then we stick our knife through that backbone at an upward angle this time, remember, until we get down to this tail, then turn it down, cuts the tail off, and then we come back the other direction. Discard, flip it over, we'll cut that collar off. Sometimes when you get here, this bone is a little tough to cut through, so you got to put some pretty good downward pressure on it. Then we flip it back over. We cut our backbone out. Keep your knife very, very shallow on this cut. You don't want to cut super deep. You don't need to. All we're trying to do is to fillet that backbone out of there. Bingo. And then I flip it around just because it's easier for me, and I'm going to fillet this belly bone out. You can see this one's already going a little bit easier for me. Each one I do will go a little bit more and more easier. And you can take as many cuts as you need to keep that looking nice and presentable. See, that's a pretty nice looking fillet there. And then we go back to this side. We cut the collar out. Bingo. Flip it back over. turn it around. Remember, once again, if you're not competent or you're not comfortable with cutting this direction, don't do it. Cut the other way. Like I said, I just do this because it's what I've gotten used to and it works for me. And so far I haven't cut myself doing it, but it's very possible to do so. So anyway, once again, just be really careful. So down to the bottom of them bones, and that fillet is good to go. Oh, and one last thing. I used to throw away these collars and backbones until my mom yelled at me because there's a ton of good meat in there, and that's, you know, that this is some really, really good oily meat right in here. I just throw them in the brine and smoke them along with everything else now, and I peel them apart and give them I give them away a little bit. I eat some of them. They go great on salads or in Alfredos or smoked salmon dips or whatever. So anyway, there you go, guys.